Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalecode.com. Be the John Wick of dating, relationships, pickup, and seduction. If you are new to my channel, I am a highly trained NLP trainer, Ericksonian master hypnotherapist. I'm also a master practitioner of timeline therapy. I'm certified in Reiki, Huna, pranic healing, and also in consciousness work in something called energy medicine. I studied psychology at Arizona State, and I studied NLP, Ericksonian hypnosis, timeline therapy, something called HNLP, which is humanistic neurolinguistic programming, also certified in neuroassociative conditioning. I studied all of these courses repeatedly with 3 different companies, actually technically 4 different companies, for 12 years. So you're not just getting some guy that's off the street. I've been doing this for over 30 years. Alright, so let's get to it. So one thing I do is I ride my bike. I've got a fixie bike. It's a GT gutter ball that I ride across the Golden Gate Bridge down into the marina, Crissy Field, sometimes to like the piers like Pier 39, etc. So I took a little bit of video today, and I got inspired because there's something I wanted to share with you, but the wind was too heavy on the Golden Gate Bridge, and it basically kind of blurred out what I was saying. You can't hear it very well, but I'm going to let you listen to the beginning so you kind of get an idea of the environment. The other thing is, right now I have openings coming at the end of this month in August and all throughout September. So if you want to take a one-on-one coaching, want to fly out to California, this is the best time of year. Right now, August and September are the warmest times of year. Now, the reason why I say that is because the San Francisco Bay Area is cold even in the summer, except right now. So when I say warm, we're talking like San Francisco is going to be about 71, 72 degrees. Where I live at 10 minutes across the bridge is about 77 degrees, maybe 81, 82 max. I am also setting up a 6-day training for people to come in. It's going to be a seminar training, probably max about 10 people if we can get that many, okay? So we're going to keep it small. So if you have availability and you want to take the training, let me know. You're going to save a lot of money if you take the training versus the one-on-one coaching. It's the same training, you just save money when you do it in the group. Alright, let's listen in for about 10-30 seconds, something like that. You know, I want to say something I did, thought that came to me just now. Love is a very interesting thing. You know, men, you guys have a lot to gripe about now. Women... Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I am coming over onto your side of the fence saying, hey, look, we're going through a really weird phase in human behavior that does not work for the female mating system or emotional system. It just doesn't work. And here's the funny, it's kind of been pushed by them and by their design, and it's leaving women scattered, and women being up in their head, and women being, what's the word, they get uptight, they panic, they're nervous, they have anxiety. This system doesn't work for their system, and now we're left to deal with it. And here's what's happening. We are scrambling, but I'm telling you something. There's still a way to deal with women effectively in a way that will leave her feeling content and relaxed and calm. Okay, so the languaging is going to be kind of rough. It is not NOT, is not something I support. So if you go all the way back to the caveman era, yeah, you know, I'm going to have to kind of set this up. So you have to understand something. Our behavior, our brain, our mating system, our romance system, our love system, our bonding systems, our social systems were hardwired during the caveman era and just after. So for thousands and thousands of years, human beings have interacted in a very specific and very certain way that was considered to be very natural and normal for tens of thousands, if not, depending on how long you think we've lived here, hundreds of thousands of years. Now, you know what? Okay, you got to understand, I have a really, really deep background in human behavior and psychology. I literally, right now, I'm looking at my living room. I have at least 300 books on human behavior, psychology, neurolinguistic programming, Ericksonian hypnosis, other forms of hypnosis, I'm missing all kinds of things, but I've got a ton of information on what's going on with humans. And okay, I'm going to give you a book. Buy a book called The Human Zoo by, I'm going to have to look it up, hold on. Sorry, The Human Zoo by Desmond Morris. He also has another book called The Naked Ape. That's by Desmond Morris again. Morris. He was, I think he was essentially a zoologist who began to see patterns with human behavior, and then he started writing books about human behavior. He started noticing, like, wait, there's a similarity here. Now, another piece, there's so much, but I'm going to give you just one more piece. We got to get on with the video. So another piece is when you go to the advanced trainings in NLP, they teach you something called modeling. Okay, and there's a couple other things, but this is all I'm going to bring out right now. So they teach you how to watch people's eye patterns, breathing patterns, the way they move their body, the languaging, the unconscious languaging patterns that we use, all the stuff we do unconsciously that we're not even aware of. And then they also teach us a series of questions and how to question someone asks something to find out what's going on behind the scenes on the unconscious level. So then we can begin to model people and get the results that they're getting. Now, when I read books, I see what people are writing on an unconscious level that even the authors who wrote it don't realize what they're doing, okay? So another thing about NLP is they teach you how to look for and see and find patterns, unconscious patterns, and something called strategies. And on top of that, I understand some basic wiring of how the female mating system is, the male mating system, how the right brain functions, how the left brain functions, the left brain language, the right brain language, and on and on and on. So you start going, whoa, wait a minute. No wonder why society is going crazy right now, is because the natural way that humans interacted is not happening anymore. And the problem is, we're still wired for the way that it was. See, you got to understand, wiring doesn't change in 100 years. It takes thousands of years for DNA, neurological wiring, and systems to shift. It just doesn't happen overnight. And that's why men are essentially going like, what the hell is going on? Like, how do we fall in love? How do we keep a relationship? What's going on here? The other problem is men are lazy. You're stuck in your left brain. You gave up the caveman era. Meaning you literally gave up your natural instincts, which is your right brain. The caveman had to use his right brain all the way up until about 1940s or so. By that time, the Industrial Revolution had happened, steam engines were coming along, coal engines, trains, machines, plows, tractors. Suddenly men didn't have to use their muscles as much. Suddenly men didn't have to tune into their cows and horses anymore. That's a right brain function. But men that still have to deal with cows and horses and don't have the computerized machines, they have to know when their cow is sick. And you're like, well, how do you know? It's like, yeah, you have to be tuned into your 5 senses. So those men tend to do very well with women, with leading women and children. So essentially, these internal awareness techniques, they bring you back into who you truly were originally, the ultimate caveman. Now, I'm not making you go backwards, I'm making you go forwards. Women, I call it the ultimate caveman. Women call it a mature male who knows how to take care of a family. What you don't realize is the modern male has given up all of his power, and he has no idea what he did, and he doesn't know what it is, where it is, how to do it, and that's what my course does. It physically, neurologically reconnects you, like plugging you back into your power. Now, here's what you did. You were just lazy. You're born using your left brain. Women are born using their right brain, but women are forced to develop their left brain because we go to school for 12 years minimum, plus kindergarten. You learn math every single semester for 12 years. You learn English. You learn science. You learn you learn history and dates and times. All of these are left brain, and then you have to learn the rules of the road. Then you've got taxes, then you've got business. Everything we do in the modern society, and now we have computers, is left brain. Women are both left and right brain, whereas men, well, we don't need to use our right brain anymore to pay the bills, and therefore fuck it, I'm just going to be Mr. Logical, and now everything is fucked up. I am telling you, When you become a right brain man, you can open up and access your right brain. Women respect it, they honor it, they admire it, especially nowadays because nobody's doing it. I'm telling you, 90+% of the men on the planet, they're just locked in their left brain. Now, here's what you got to understand about the caveman. There was no police, there was no judges, there was no jails, there was no military, there was just him. So when women, okay, how to explain this? When women went haywire, he didn't give a shit. He either walked away or he smacked her. And I'm serious. Now, I am not telling you to do this. There's better ways, which this video is going to teach you. So here's the problem. Everything is logical. Everything is left brain. So now women are everything is like, okay, you know how in all my videos I tell you guys that when you're in your logical left brain, you suck her into her left brain? Alright, I'm going to let you listen to the video right here, just for about 5-10 seconds. Alright, so I thought this would be a nice review. This is a very nice part of town. Or part of the bridge, I should say. So yeah, let me get your view here, guys. So, oh, by the way, this is a great place to meet women. People are a lot of tourists, very happy over here. So, essentially what a woman, okay, here's what happens. Women don't like to be stuck up in their head, okay? No, nobody does, even men don't, but men have been stuck there for, 50, 80, 100 years now. They don't know any different. So the modern male is kind of screwed. You're stressed, you're uptight, you drink, you take drugs. Here's the thing, man, get a massage. Now, instead of smacking a woman, because that's against the law, it's not cool either, I don't support that at all. What you can do is you can give her a deep tissue massage. Just rub her feet, massage her feet, learn how to massage her back, massage her butt, because there's a lot of nerve endings in the butt, and if you can massage her butt or her feet, her whole body will relax. What it does, it brings her back into her body. Women do not want to be stuck in the head. Massage her, and that will bring her back into her body, okay? Okay, so essentially the caveman literally used to backhand, smack a woman, etc. And that's illegal. It's not cool. I don't like it. Because there's better ways to help a woman to, essentially like it's in the old days to say, I remember when I was a little kid, and I'm not kidding. I remember this older guy, he's probably 40-some years old. I was like 8 years old, and I think it was a John Wayne movie where he literally, this woman was like, oh, no, just yelling and screaming, and crack, he just cracked her, just slapped her really hard. I don't remember, it was an open palm. And it stopped her, and she was stunned, and she looked at him, and then she started to cry, and then she reached out and hugged him, and I thought, okay, that's weird. And then John Wayne goes, do you feel better now? She goes, yeah, thank you, I feel a lot better. And I was like, what the hell? So I think I was at a bar with my stepdad in Wisconsin. Now, when you were a kid back then, if you were with a parent, you could go. And it was during lunchtime, actually. We were taking a break. We were working on some stuff. And I was a kid. I was literally, I think I was 8 or 9 years old. And I was like, what the hell? And I think I said something like, why did he do that? And he goes, and whoever the guy was next to me, he goes, well, look at her. Look how happy she is now. She's calm. And I'm like, why? And he said, it's like a factory reset. Now, it might be funny, but it's actually true. Now, here's what I mean. Oh, I want you to listen to what I say here. It's a little tip for you. Talk a little bit more about it. I'm riding my bike. I'm gonna head over the Golden Gate Bridge. So, if you guys are wondering why do I come here so much, I know this is a first video for you, but I come here about twice a week because I meet a lot of women here. Like, it is super easy. All right, guys. So that whole area from Sausalito, which is that way, and then behind me is San Francisco, and right down to the left is Crissy Field and the marina. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people down those walkways they're visiting, so they're really excited and they're happy, and people love to talk. It's a great place to meet women, talk to women, etc. So I ride my bike across the Golden Gate Bridge twice a week, sometimes 3, but usually twice a week. I've got a fixie with one big gear on it, so when I go uphill, I got to push it because it's pretty hard. So it has tremendously gotten me back in shape. So now let's get back to the video. So here's what I meant when I said factory reset. So if you've been following this video series for the last 4 or 5 videos, I keep talking about being emotionally grounded, how women hate being stuck in their head because when they're stuck in their head, it makes them go nuts. We live in a society now where everything is left brain logic, which means stuck in your head. When a woman says I'm stuck in my head, she means she's stuck in the logical system and it's driving her nuts. So the older males, cavemen we'll call them, I mean even just going back to the 40s and 50s, even maybe even the 60s, like those men were raised to be more calm and more down to earth and grounded. And so the modern male, we are so stuck in our head, dude, it's not even funny. We have completely lost connection with our body, with our feelings, with our, I don't want to say emotions, I don't mean feelings like cry, I don't mean that at all, but just sensing your body. So you got to understand your body is your radar system. When people say intuition, that's what they're talking about, your 5 senses, your right brain. So people are like, oh, I don't believe in that. That's because you're so stuck in your left brain, you're completely disconnected from it. So women are born using their right brain. This is natural. This is home to them. Men are born using their logical left brain. The modern male, because we don't have to tune into our environment to sense a tiger a mile away, because you got to understand, if there's a lion or a tiger that's less than a mile away, say a half a mile, you're dead. You're just dead. You're not going to be able to run fast enough. You're not going to be able to get away. So that's why they had to be really aware of their environment. They literally had to feel and sense their environment visually, auditory, and kinesthetically. And there's a technique I'm going to teach you in the course that shows you how to do that. It's going to blow your mind. All of a sudden, you're going to like, holy shit, I could feel that woman staring at my back. Like, yep, and you weren't even looking at her. She was behind you, and you turned and looked right at her. Here's the deal. I could be on my computer, writing something on my computer at a coffee shop and have my headphones on, blocking the world out. I can feel when a woman's staring at me, whether it's my shoulder, my chest, my back, my face, wherever, and I'll look right at her. Literally like there's a spider web, a line that goes straight to wherever she's touching me with her eyes, right to her, and I'll look right up at her. Instead of looking up and looking all the way around, oh, there's a woman looking at me over there. No, it's like, I look right at her. And when it happens, women's like, oh shit, that guy caught me. And then like, wow, that guy's good. I've actually had women walk up to me when I've done that to them. It's like, you looked right at me. Did you feel that? I'm like, yeah, I could feel you looking at me. Just so you know, when you're in your right brain, you can feel this. So women, when they are grounded, when they're tuned into the right brain, they can feel when you're looking at their body, even from behind.
I'm actually riding my bike. I do this twice a week for exercise. It's really got me in shape. If you're in your 50s and you think you can't get in shape, get a bike, especially like a fixie. Man, I am in, because it's one gear and you have to really, really push it on that thing.
Alright, so this fixie bike has got me in tremendous shape. My veins are popping. I'm telling you, I'm in really good shape. It's incredible. Okay, so now, when I talk about factory resetting, here's what I mean. You know how like, I have an old Honda Del Sol, Honda Civic. The way you factory reset that thing is essentially you just take the battery cables off and let it sit for, I think it's 5 minutes, but some people say longer, but usually for the mid-90s Honda Civics, you just take it off for 5 minutes or so, put it back on, then you just got to reset your clock. What it does is it resets the computer. So other cars, computers, there's different ways of resetting them back to factory setting, okay? Now remember, back in the old days, like literally they would just backhand a woman or slap her when she was all stuck in her logical brain going, oh my God, and freaking out and yelling and screaming and being hysterical, and crack, and it would calm them down. Now here's why. When I say factory resetting, what it does is because you're physically making contact, it brings her back down into her body and it shuts off her thinking brain. You have to understand, when a woman's up in her head, it is not a good thing. She does not like being stuck there. And when they get stuck, they kind of lose their shit. So I'm going to give you some techniques that will help a woman to ground herself, okay? But let me kind of explain this first. So the smacking is it's impactful, and it stings the nerves, and it sends like a, I don't know what a shock wave or energy, electricity, and it brings her awareness into her body. So remember, they're born using their right brain, which means they're born being tuned into their 5 senses, into their body. So when you bring a woman back into her body, it's like a factory reset, and she feels really good. And that's when that woman, after John Wayne smacked her, I was like, oh my god, because this was an older movie. This was this was like the late 70s, and I'm like, holy shit, like what the fuck, man. And then she said, and he goes, do you feel better? And she's like, yeah, thank you. And she hugged him and she cried, and then she started to smile, and I'm just like, what? By the way, this is Sausalito, right down from the Gold Gate Bridge. This is a huge tourist town. Lots of tourists go across the Gold Gate Bridge into Sausalito, and Napa is another huge tourist area. Right now is a great time to come out for one-on-one coaching for 6 days or take the training with a group of men.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? San Francisco's beautiful, man. This is Sausalito. I literally just came down the hill from the Golden Gate Bridge. Lots of really good restaurants here. Very, very wealthy little city. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, so you guys know how I talk a lot about being emotionally grounded and getting a massage and all the stuff that I keep talking about? Well, guess what? You can do this for her too. Now, I've been teaching you guys techniques on how to help yourself be emotionally grounded and calm down because it helps her to calm down. Well, that's number one. Here's the deal that you have to understand. The majority of the men on the planet are completely stuck in their head. And here's the deal. Now watch this. Everything a woman learns from kindergarten all the way through high school, all the way through college, and then into her work is left brain, left brain, left brain, left brain. Nothing brings a woman back into her right brain, like art, music, picking berries and, doing stuff that we used to physically do naturally, okay? And not only that, but now the caveman, well, you, which you're not a caveman anymore, but we're bringing you back. You know what John Wick is? He's a caveman. That's the whole theme. So everything is pulling her up in her head and nothing is helping her to ground, meaning come back inside her body. This is what makes her feel comfortable. This is why it's so important, number one, for you to come back into your body when you're with a woman. Now here's why. The right brain is the relationship brain. It's where you're supposed to be when you come home from work with your wife or with your girlfriend. If you go on a date, if you go to a club, if you hang out with friends. Every man, when you go to a party, when you go to clubs, now men are stuck in their left brain. They're completely stuck. It's sickening. But that's the power. This is your power. When you learn how to ground yourself and open up again, all of a sudden, everywhere you go, women are going to look at you. You are the unicorn. You become the unicorn because other men aren't in their right brain. And not only that, but her mating system was hardwired to be sexually turned on and attracted to men who open up to the right brain. That's the secret. Now, I'm not logically saying that she logically is aware, that's a right brain male. Let me logically write that down. No, all she knows is, man, I am attracted to this guy. I feel really good feelings inside. I want to meet this guy. Okay, so let's get to the ways to do it. Number one, when you come in and learn how to take the internal awareness course and learn and condition that into you have to get to a certain level to where, boom, you're just there. Once you get there, that's one of the most important things, because this not only will draw women to you, it literally attracts women to you, and on top of it, it helps them to calm down. So if you have a girlfriend or you're married and you spend time with your wife, that alone is going to help her to open up to her right brain, and now she feels comfortable. Not only that, but it gives her clarity in her mind. Her world just calms down, stops spinning in a hurricane in circles, and everything calms down and she's clear. Now, the reason why I wrote this video is because we are not cavemen anymore and we cannot, I'm just going to say it, we cannot smack a bitch. That's illegal, it's against the law, and I do not support that. So what else can you do? You can give her a massage. Now here's the deal. If a woman has gotten so uptight to where she's just stressed out, it's been going on for a long time. If she's yelling and screaming and acting, I don't know what the word is, panicking or whatever you call it, not making sense, you should have gave her a massage days ago. You should have massaged her feet the night before so she could sleep better. See, massage their feet, massage their hands for 15 minutes each, or 10 minutes per foot and 10 minutes per hand. Hell, make it 7 minutes. It'll put her to sleep. Number 2, just give her a back massage, a leg massage. Now here's another thing. Get really good at learning. There's a technique I use that can massage. You do it from the side to like a person's butt to a woman's butt, and it gets that nerve. See, you have a bundle of nerves in both. What do you call it? I can't remember. I'm gonna call it butt cheeks, but in those big muscles in there. And when you release that, her whole body, like when okay, the first time a massage therapist did it to me, it felt like warm water went down inside my leg all the way into my feet. And what it did was it unlocked all of that, and everything released and relaxed and opened up. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you've got to be the submissive guy, you got to massage your girlfriend. No, it's a two-way road. My ex-girlfriend used to massage me all the time. This is a two-way road. This is about supporting your wife, nurturing your wife, holding her up upon a pedestal, but it means we're both supposed to revere each other. It's not a one-way road. When you respect women and admire them in a respectful way, in a healthy way, you will be amazed at how much better women will treat you. That's one of the major problems in society. The modern male is completely disconnected from his right brain, so he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's lost. Oh, real quick about the word seduction. Every woman wants to be seduced. The problem is you do it in the male way, which is the external way, which pisses her off. This is why men are like, oh, women don't want to be seduced. No, they do. I have talked to thousands of women over the years. They're like, well, yeah, well, of course we do. I mean, what do you think? Women don't like to be romanced and turned on? Come on. But again, that's what Crack the Female Code is about. It's about doing it in the female way, the way that they like, enjoy, and understand. Alright, so regular massage will keep her feeling good. Make sure she's got plenty of protein. I mean, everything I've taught you in the last video is acupuncture. Another thing you can do is you can breathe deep and hold your breath for a little while and then breathe it out. Everything I've taught you in the last couple of videos. I think the one before this went over a lot. If I remember right, this one's going to be right after that one. It's like one thing after another. So it's number 2, power secrets to seduction. So that's gonna be like in the image. Then it's gonna say power secrets, or number 2, power secrets to romance, dating, and seduction, or dating, relationships, and seduction. So you can take a woman to an acupuncturist and say, hey, she's got anxiety, or help her relax. You can both go and get a massage, at a massage place. But massaging each other is very important. I would say do that at least once a week, even if it's just the feet for 20 or 30 minutes. Another important thing is making love to her. Physical, sexual intercourse, penetration. It is like it's like an internal massage, and on top of it, it causes her to breathe deep for quite a while, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, however long. The breathing alone will really relax her body, because when you put oxygen into your bloodstream, your muscles relax. Okay, that's kind of a secret a lot of people don't know, but if you're not breathing, your muscles tighten up, because oxygen is fuel for your brain and your muscles. When you have plenty of oxygen in your bloodstream, your muscles and brain relax. Another thing I want to re-mention, I mentioned it about 2 minutes ago or 1 minute ago, is you need to breathe when she's talking. So when she's talking, you need to just breathe in your mouth, or in your nose, and then out your mouth. Okay, and then just breathe in, hold it for about 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, and then breathe out your mouth. Believe it or not, it'll get her to start breathing deeper. It'll cause the communication to develop a rhythm, and while you're breathing, it allows her to talk. What most men do is they cut in, and that makes her hyperventilate. Okay, so if you're trying to talk when she's talking, you keep cutting her off, because it's like she kind of breathes. It's like you're jamming her system up. Don't do that. When a woman is talking, just completely shut up and let her talk until she's completely done. That will help a woman to relax. And remember, while she's talking, you take a breath in, hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, and then blow it out. Now that I've only done it like 4 or 5 times, and I'm already my lungs and my the diaphragm's already starting to loosen up. When your body begins to loosen up physically like that, her body begins to loosen up. So now you're getting her breathing going by you breathing, and now her muscles begin to relax by your muscles relaxing. Now here's a funny one. I know it's going to sound funny. I've actually heard it from a woman. It's a long time ago. She said that she likes to get spanked, and I'm like, what? And this kind of freaked me out. Not really, but I was like, okay, what are you talking about? She goes, honestly, it helps me relax when I'm stressed. Getting spanked, and here's the deal: it's the same thing. You're stimulating a big bundle of nerves, and it relaxes the whole system. By the way, not all women like to do that, but you'd be surprised how many do. Now, if you got this far in the video, I bet that just surprised the hell out of you, didn't it? Alright guys, go ahead and leave your comments. I have a feeling I'm going to get a lot of comments in this video. Your own tips and tricks on how to calm a woman down. Alright guys, there's a lot more than that, but that kind of gives you an idea. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I do want to say one more thing. The overall theme of this video to calm a woman down is to get her back into her body, whether it's physically massaging her, exercising with her, doing stretching with her, getting her to do breathing exercises, anything that gets her physical, okay? Including eating. Eating can really calm someone down because it's a physical thing. It fills up your belly. And it can, if you're light on food, especially protein, now make sure she's getting enough protein, as in meats, chicken, steak, etc., because that can help her to ground as well. Because everything breaks down in what they call the Krebs cycle. I learned this in college in science, and it goes all the way down to glycogen. If your blood has plenty of glycogen and plenty of oxygen, she's going to be emotionally grounded. So the factory reset is just getting her back into her body, which opens her up to her right brain. Now everything's good. Alright guys, thank you for listening to this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, go ahead and click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want to support this channel, go ahead and buy one of my dating relationship books. I highly recommend Crack the Female Code. Remember, go to crackthefemalecode.com. You can also make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. I would really appreciate it if you guys would start to donate. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.